All right, so before we took a little break, we were talking about Duvall's plans for active transportation,
Right.
especially those bike paths,
Yeah.
and how they could help with some of those future traffic woes.
Yeah.
Let's dig into those proposed improvements.
Okay.
What are we looking at here?
Well, the plan goes beyond just adding bike lanes.
Okay.
They're looking at widening roads to accommodate separate bike paths,
Okay.
creating new trails to connect different parts of town,
Mm.
even re-engineering intersections to make them safer.
So it's a lot more than just paint on the asphalt.
Right.
It sounds like they're really taking this complete streets thing to heart.
They are.
What exactly does that mean?
So Complete Streets is a design philosophy that considers the needs of all users.
Okay.
Not just cars. It's about creating streets that are safe and accessible for everyone.
Got it.
Pedestrians, cyclists, transit users, people with disabilities.
And drivers.
And drivers, too.
So instead of just focusing on moving cars as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
they're thinking about how to make streets more livable,
Right.
more vibrant,
Exactly.
and enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty revolutionary.
It is, yeah.
And it's gaining momentum all over the country. People
Mhm.
are realizing that streets are more than just for vehicles.
Right.
They're public spaces that should enhance our quality of life.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how does this translate to Duvall? What kind of changes might we see?
Imagine wider sidewalks, tree-lined streets,
Okay.
bike lanes that are separated from traffic,
Yeah.
and crosswalks that actually prioritize pedestrians.
These aren't just cosmetic changes.
No, not at all.
These can fundamentally change how people experience their surroundings.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
Those-
But what about those who say this is just catering to a small minority who bike or walk?
Right.
I mean, most people still rely on their cars.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But complete streets aren't about excluding cars.
Okay.
It's about creating a more balanced system that gives people options.
Yeah.
And even drivers benefit from complete streets.
Okay.
They often lead to calmer traffic,
Okay.
fewer accidents,
Right.
and more pleasant surroundings.
It's like those traffic calming measures they talk about.
Yes.
I have to admit, I'm always skeptical when I see speed bumps or roundabouts.
Yeah.
They just seem like a nuisance.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But traffic calming is more than just slowing cars down.
Okay.
It's about making streets safer for everyone,
Okay.
especially pedestrians and cyclists.
Yeah.
Reducing speeds creates a more forgiving environment where minor mistakes don't lead to major accidents.
So it's not just about slowing down traffic. It's about creating a safer space where people can coexist.
Exactly.
And those roundabouts you mentioned,
Yeah,
they're actually good at moving traffic.
they are, believe it or not.
Mm.
They can actually reduce congestion and improve traffic flow.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
It seems counterintuitive, I know,
It does, yeah.
but there's a lot of research that backs it up. They might seem awkward, but they're quite smooth and efficient.
So Duvall is embracing complete streets
Yeah,
and traffic calming.
right.
What else are they doing to shake things up?
They are pretty progressive.
They are.
And it's not just about what's happening inside Duvall.
Okay.
They're also thinking regionally.
Okay.
Chapter 7 goes into how they're coordinating with other agencies, like the Washington State Department of Transportation.
WSDOT?
Yeah, WSDOT, the Puget Sound Regional Council,
Okay.
PSRC,
Yeah.
and King County.
So it's not a solo mission.
No,
They're working with the big players.
they are.
Why is that so important?
Yeah. Well, it's all about recognizing that transportation doesn't stop at the city limits.
Right.
What happens in Duvall can impact the entire region.
Yeah.
For example, Main Street, their main road, is actually a state highway. So any changes they make need to be coordinated with WSDOT.
It's like a chain reaction.
Yes.
One small change can trigger effects elsewhere.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
And they're also aligning with PSRC's Vision 2050.
Okay.
That's a long-range plan for the whole Puget Sound region.
Wow.
They're even exploring ways to connect with King County Metro,
Okay.
which could give residents more transportation options
Yeah.
and reduce car reliance.
It's like 40 chess.
It is. They're thinking big.
They are.
But this brings up a crucial question.
Oh.
How are they going to pay for all of this?
Yeah. These improvements can't be cheap.
You're right. Funding is always a challenge.
Right.
Chapter 6 tackles this head on.
Okay.
They're not just relying on traditional funding like gas taxes or property taxes.
Right.
They're looking at a mix of options.
Okay. Like what?
Impact fees.
What are impact fees?
Impact fees are charges on new development projects.
Okay.
So new growth helps pay for the infrastructure it requires. Like if a developer builds a new subdivision, they'd pay a fee that could go towards road improvements,
Got it.
parks, or schools.
So growth pays for itself.
Exactly.
I like it.
It makes sure new development doesn't burden existing residents
Yeah, that makes sense.
with higher taxes or strained infrastructure.
What about grants?
Grants can come from different sources,
Okay.
federal, state, even private foundations, but they're competitive.
Oh, well.
Duvall needs to make a strong case for why their projects deserve funding.
So it's not just about having good ideas.
Right.
You have to sell them.
You have to be able to sell those ideas.
Yeah.
And convince others to invest.
And that's where public-private partnerships come in.
Exactly.
Okay.
These are collaborations between government and private companies, often involving shared investment or risk.
So, for example?
A private company might help finance a new transportation project in exchange for the right to operate it or collect tolls.
That's interesting.
It is.
You're thinking outside the box.
They are.
That's great.
It's exciting.
It is.
They're not just sticking to the status quo.
Right.
They're exploring new solutions.
Okay, so they've got the vision.
Yeah.
They've got the plan. And they're figuring out the funding.
Right.
But what about the people who this is all going to impact?
Yeah.
Do the residents of Duvall have a say?
They absolutely do.
Okay, good.
And the plan emphasizes community engagement.
Good.
They've held public meetings, conducted surveys, and given residents chances to share feedback.
That's really important.
It is.
It's one thing to have a plan, but making sure it reflects the community's needs is another.
Exactly.
These changes will impact their daily lives.
And this isn't just about making sure people are informed. It's about empowering them to shape their town's future.
So Duvall is being proactive.
Yeah.
They're thinking long-term, and they're involving the community.
They are.
What's not to love?
I'm starting to get a little jealous.
Me too.
But every town has its own challenges.
Right.
What's inspiring about Duvall is that they're demonstrating that even small towns can be leaders.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to think big.
That's a great point.
And push boundaries.
Yeah. It's easy to think these changes only happen in big cities.
Right.
With lots of resources.
Yeah.
But Duvall is proving that wrong.
Exactly.
And they're setting an example for others.
Yeah, they're showing it's possible to create a transportation system that's efficient, sustainable, equitable, and enjoyable for everyone.
Okay, I'm officially inspired.
Good.
But before we get too carried away with Duvall's utopian vision, let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
How does this plan connect to the larger trends we're seeing? This whole complete streets and traffic calming thing feels like part of a bigger shift.
You're right. It is.
So before the break, we were saying how Duvall's approach to transportation is part of a bigger trend.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
They're not content with just how things are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What Duvall is doing shows that we need to move beyond just building more roads and expanding highways.
Yeah.
We need to create balanced and sustainable transportation
Yeah.
that prioritizes people over cars.
It's like a total paradigm shift.
It is a paradigm shift, and it's driven by so many things.
Like what?
Concerns about climate change, air quality, public health,
Right.
even social equity.
It really makes you wonder if Duvall's plan is a glimpse into the future of transportation.
Yeah, what if this small town in Washington is ahead of everyone else?
I like it.
It's an interesting thought.
It is.
They're tackling huge problems.
Yeah.
Problems that communities all over the world are facing.
Like what?
How to manage growth, right?
Reduce congestion, improve safety, create more livable spaces.
So let's say their plan works.
Okay.
What would that look like for people living in Duvall?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
It's a sunny morning.
Okay.
You step out of your house.
Yeah.
But instead of getting in your car, you grab your bike.
Okay.
Or just start walking.
All right, I'm with you.
The streets are lined with trees.
Ooh, nice.
Giving you shade.
Yeah.
And a sense of calm.
I like it.
And you notice the sidewalks are wider than normal.
Okay.
So you can walk side by side with a friend. As you get to a busy intersection,
Yeah.
you see a crosswalk with a countdown timer.
Oh, that's nice.
Giving you plenty of time to cross.
Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
It does.
But what about those trucks?
Right, the trucks.
Are they still driving through town?
Well, remember how Duvall is working with WSDOT?
To improve their ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can get more funding.
They might be able to improve those traffic bottlenecks.
Okay.
And create better routes for trucks.
So maybe the trucks are on a bypass,
Possibly, yeah.
keeping them out of downtown.
Right, and Main Street could be transformed
Oh, okay.
into a vibrant pedestrian area
Mm.
with shops and restaurants and public spaces.
It sounds like a European city.
I know, right?
Yeah.
People could just stroll along without worrying about cars.
And those complete streets elements
Yes,
could be all over town,
everywhere.
creating safe and inviting spaces.
Exactly, for people to walk, bike, and just hang out.
And the horses.
The horses.
Yeah, are they still around?
Of course.
Okay.
Duvall wants to keep that equestrian part of their town.
Yeah.
They're proposing more trails, connecting them to parks and open spaces.
Oh, that.
So you could see people riding horses through town.
Adding to that small town charm.
Exactly.
So we've got bike paths, walking trails, horse trails, maybe even better transit.
It's pretty comprehensive.
It is. It gives people choices.
Yeah, you don't have to rely on a car.
That's the goal.
You can choose what works best for you.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, but is it really achievable?
Well, it's ambitious.
It is.
And there will be challenges.
Any what?
Funding will be a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll need to be creative
Uh-huh.
and persistent to get the money they need.
And some people might not like the changes.
That's true.
They might want Duvall to stay a quiet, rural town.
Right, and that's why community engagement is so important.
Yeah, it's not just about telling people what's happening.
No, it's about bringing them along
Yeah.
and making sure they feel heard.
It's about finding solutions that work for everyone,
Exactly.
even those who are skeptical.
Yeah, it takes time and patience. But if Duvall can do it,
Huh?
they could be a great example for other communities.
I'm rooting for them.
Me too. They've given us a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see a small town being so bold.
It is. It shows that we don't have to wait for big cities
Or the government.
to lead the way.
We can all do something.
Exactly.
So what can our listeners do?
Start by learning about your own community's plans.
Okay.
What are their goals?
Yeah.
What challenges do they have? Are they embracing complete streets, traffic calming, active transportation?
And once you've done your research,
Don't be afraid to get involved.
yeah, speak up.
Go to public meetings.
Share your opinions.
Talk to your elected officials.
Right.
Join an advocacy group.
Or even just talk to your friends and neighbors.
Exactly. Transportation isn't just about getting around.
It's about building communities
That are safe, healthy, and connected,
and making sure everyone can travel safely.
no matter how they choose to do it.
That's a great point.
So get out there, explore your options, and be part of the solution.
That's great advice.
Until next time, keep on learning, keep on diving deep, and keep on moving forward.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Of course, my pleasure.